He feels something for you. You know it. You can feel it when he texts, when he opens up, when he's in the room with you, and still, no plans, no definition, no clear direction, just the two of you, and this space between you that never quite becomes anything real. That's what we're going to talk about today. And this is what this channel is doing from here on. Not decoding what someone might feel, reading what someone's behavior is actually building. Proof over words, every time. Here's what you'll walk away with today. A clear, practical way to separate two things that look almost identical from the inside. The experience of being liked and the reality of being chosen. They feel similar. They look similar. They produce completely different outcomes. Once you know how to read the difference, you stop waiting for something to change that was never going to change. This is not about whether he's a good person. It's not about blame. It's about what the behavior in front of you is telling you, directly, without decoding required. If this kind of clarity is what you've been looking for, practical, direct behavior first, subscribe. This channel is going to keep doing this. Same approach every time. Let's start with the distinction that changes everything. Liking someone is passive. It happens to you. Feelings develop. You don't choose them, and neither does he. He didn't decide to like you any more than you decided to like him. That part is automatic. It's genuine. It just isn't a decision. Choosing someone is different. It's active. It requires a decision. It requires investment, not just of time or attention, but of intention. Long-term intention. The kind with a direction. The kind you can observe in what someone consistently does over time, not just in what they feel in a given moment. Here's what that means practically. A person can like you genuinely, completely, without any deception, and still not choose you. Both things can be real at the same time. That's not a contradiction. That's not a sign that he's lying. It's just how it works. The confusion, the loop, the exhaustion of trying to figure out what's happening almost never comes from finding out he felt nothing. Most of the time, you already knew he felt something. The pain comes from treating the presence of feeling as proof of choice, from expecting one to automatically produce the other. It doesn't. Feeling something and building something are two completely different actions. One is involuntary, one requires decision. Feeling something is not a plan. It's not a promise. It is not a path. It is just a feeling. And you deserve more than a feeling. And there's something most people miss when they arrive at that distinction. Something that shifts the entire way you read the situation. Hold on to that. What does real choice actually look like? Not in theory. In behavior you can point to. Plans. Not. We should hang out soon. A specific plan. A time. A follow-through. Someone who is choosing you invests future time in you in concrete, traceable ways. Not perfectly. Consistently. Definition. A person who has decided doesn't stay comfortable with ambiguity indefinitely. At some point, they move to make things clear. Not because you pushed for it, but because undefined becomes uncomfortable for someone who has made a choice. If the lack of definition feels completely fine to him with no end in sight, that is data. Not a question mark. Data. Consistency. Not just when he misses you or when it's quiet and you're available. Consistency across time, across circumstances, across moments when showing up takes actual effort. That kind of consistency only comes from decision. Feeling fluctuates. Commitment is what fills the gap when feeling isn't enough on its own. Integration. Someone choosing you eventually brings you into their life. Not all at once. But there's movement. You're not held in a separate compartment. You appear in their plans, in conversations about what comes next. Over weeks and months, you can see a direction. Put all four together, and you have a clear picture. The issue is not whether he feels something. The issue is whether his behavior is building anything. He can text you every day and have no plan for where this goes. He can say he misses you and make no move to close any distance. He can open up in ways he doesn't with anyone else and still make no decision about you. All of that is real, and none of it is choosing. Attention is what he gives when he wants to. Intention is what he acts on when he has decided. They can look identical for months. They are not the same thing. But here's where most people stop. They understand the distinction. They can see it clearly in what they've been experiencing, and they don't know what to do with it. Because the real question, the one that's probably already forming, is, so what do I do now? Staying in an undefined situation has a real cost, not a dramatic one. Not a single moment you can point to. Just steady, quiet wait. The uncertainty doesn't go away when you stop thinking about it. It runs in the background. You spend energy interpreting things that weren't designed to be messages. You keep parts of yourself held back because you don't fully know what this is. You stay semi-available for someone who hasn't committed to being fully available for you. That's not a character flaw. That's what extended ambiguity does over time. And the longer it runs, the harder it becomes to separate what's actually happening from what you've been hoping will happen. Those two things start to blur. Once they blur, you stop making decisions based on what's real and start making them based on what you're hoping for. Here's what this has all been building toward. That situation you came in with, you know he feels something and nothing is moving. The answer is not to decode him more carefully. It's not to wait longer. It's not to find the right words that make him realize. The answer is, you can choose clarity right now, regardless of what he decides. Clarity is not a breakup. It's not an ultimatum. It is a decision you make about what you are willing to see, about what the evidence in front of you is actually telling you, without the translation layer. What is his behavior building? Not what might it mean. Not what could it become. What is it building right now, based on what you can actually observe? Plans, consistency, definition, integration. Is any of that present? Not when you ask for it, not as a response to pressure, but as something he's moving toward on his own? He likes you. You already knew that. That was never the real question. The real question is whether his behavior is building anything. And if you look at it directly, without softening it, without translating it, you already know the answer. You've probably known for longer than you've been willing to say. What you do with that answer is yours. That's where your power is. Not in understanding him better, in deciding what you're willing to see. Because that decision, what you name, what you acknowledge, and what you choose to do next, that's where things actually change. That's what proof over words is going to keep doing. Not theories, not decoding. Teaching you to read what's actually in front of you. Behavior, what it builds, what it doesn't. Evidence you can work with. If this video landed, if something in here was already true before you hit play, leave one comment. I choose clarity. That's it. 3 words. I want to see who's here. Subscribe if you want to keep doing this. New videos are coming. Same framework. Behavior over feelings, proof over words, every single time. And if someone you know is stuck in this, in that space where he shows up but never quite chooses, send this to them. Not as a message, just as a way to see clearly. See you next time.